The arrows were created so that the tarot can be used to work on yourself, to better your life, to make your life better, rather than just being asking questions. And a lot of time people get frustrated with the cards because they're not actually getting the answers how they can improve on a situation or how they can work on themselves, what even to do properly. They feel frustrated. And the arrows, I created the arrows to help really understanding a situation and what you can do to better a situation. So thought I'd start with my friend Sally, and let's see. Got the 3 dice this year. So this is a perfect example on an arrow. So an arrow didn't align, but the answer, sometimes it's better if an arrow isn't aligning, especially if you know that if you have to make changes. If you know you have to make changes, then if an arrow is aligning, it's like, it says that basically that means that this situation is perfect for you to take the next step, and it probably has already happened, right? But when an arrow isn't aligning, that can sometimes be better, because then you know what you have to do. You can see what the problem is, and the brain and the mind will automatically, very often, already start then changing. Like, it will just let go of beliefs, limiting beliefs often. You don't even need to do any belief work. It will often happen automatically. So the first thing you got was 6 of Pentacles. And the number 6 loves to be in charge, loves to be in control. So if a number 6 is showing up in your tarot, especially if you get more than one, it means that you really feel the need to be in control and in charge. And that can be good or bad. Then you get Pentacles, so that reinforces, needing to know what's going to happen, needing to be in control of the situation. And 6 of Pentacles often shows up when people are very charitable. They're in, they want to take leadership in the situation. They don't like it when things are out of control or not set properly. So there's a need here to have control in your life. Then we get Knight of Pentacles, which is when there are changes. The Knights are in the group of change. The Knights are doors opening when a big change is happening in your life. Now, if you get the Knights with a lot of 5, the number 5, then it's often very positive, because the number 5 gives a lot of courage to the seeker. And they want to kick those doors open. They're so ready for change, and they're not really scared of anything. But when the 5s don't show up, it can often be then that those doors are opening and the seeker want to shut them close again. There is a bit of fear of change. And with Knight of Pentacles, it's almost always a change in career and work, and sometimes even where you're going to be living. So it could be a new opportunity with work. Maybe someone offered you a new job, and maybe you feel like you're too scared to take it. And even if you do take it, maybe you feel like you need to know everything. Maybe you need to be in full control over it, and you perhaps feel overwhelmed. And then we get the Death card, which then means that this is a change that is going to happen. Like, it is a change that perhaps should have happened a long time ago. It is not a change that you really can avoid. Like, it's a complete change, even in your belief system. There is going to be a change in how you're thinking about things, your life. But because you got the number 6, what does the number 6 represent? Like, it likes to be in charge, it likes to be in control. So what doesn't the 6 like? 6s often don't like to be lined up with Major Arcana cards, because that is Major Arcana cards is when things are out of control a little bit, when you have to go with the flow and you can't control it, you just have to go with it. So when, of course, you get 6 with the Death card of all cards, this is really the big one, then you probably feel a bit anxious about this whole situation. So if you had gotten a 9, for example, instead of a 6, it would have aligned perfectly, because the 9 it works with flow energy really, really well, and it knows how to work with it. So Sally, one thing I can recommend is that when you do your meditation, one of the downloads you can do from the Creator of All is, I know how to go through change in harmonious way. I know how to be in my flow in harmonious way, and I know how to create my life, and my life is improving every day. I also want to have a look in the cards here for you. Think about what you really truly want in your heart, and don't be afraid to ask for that. Don't be afraid to ask for things that you want in your life, and make sure you actually really want it. And it can be a baby step. It doesn't have to be a major like step. When you're manifesting, you can manifest one little step at a time. And also the Knight of Pentacles means that there is someone there that is supportive in your life that you can rely on as well, especially someone in your life, in your routine. So, and I think that's someone you can see, you know, someone actually there present, not someone far away, that you can rely on, that is a good manifester who does work well with change. This is someone that you can confide in and that will help you get through this. So it is your fear of change that is the issue, not change itself. So you can ask the Creator to take away your fear of change. Go and in the highest and best way with grace and ease, because you want it with Creator's truth, perspective and understanding and discernment, so that you know the difference between positive and negative change, so you don't miss out on this wonderful opportunity that I believe is coming your way. Get Ace of Cups here at the bottom, so that means this is about your spirit, your soul, and it is to give you a complete renewal. But this job thing, it's a block. That's what you're afraid of. And I get a lot of the same cards here. It's almost like you feel like you have limitations, that you can't go past your limitations. That's what I feel is the block. And it is that limitations of fearing change. It's like an absolute fear of change. So this whole situation is there to teach you to stand up for yourself. And you're like, I don't think you're going to be able to not rock the boat in this situation anymore. You're going to have to be truthful and honest. Only truth will be able to set you free in this situation. What it is that you actually want, and to finally go after it, free of fear of speaking your truth, because you cannot avoid speaking the truth in this situation. Now, there is a organization it looks like you're going to be connected to that is it is actually a very positive place, and you do get to help others here, and that's going to give you actually a lot of happiness and a lot of reward. In this group, and I laid this all out, only minor arcana cards showed up. And when only minor arcana cards show up, it's actually very positive for the 6s. And you did get a 6 here in the outcome card. So that is actually an arrow of being in full control and charge in your life. So your only obstacle is the fear of change rather than change itself. And the work thing, because you do get 3 of Pentacles here in the block, it is feeling that you don't have maybe the skills, so maybe you do need to upskill in one area of your life. And once you have that skill, that one skill, and then there is no other fears, there is no other blocks. But perhaps you feel like there's a lack of skill to move forward, so you then need to go and gain those skills. And I feel like it's once you have it, then you really are going to be unstoppable. Where you thought you belong and where you actually belong could be 2 different things as well. Okay, so we got double 4 with Pentacles. We got a few Pentacles. And when there is 4s, then there is a strong need to be committed, to do a perfect job, to give it all you got. And when you got Pentacles, then you certainly have the resources to do it, and you are in a routine and you're living the life to do it. But what is lacking is actually the queens. So the queens give you then the trust and the ability to really feel this is my life. When they don't show up, then there's like distrust if this is actually your path. And that's why it's going to be a lot easier for you to, the door that is opening, it's going to be easier for you to go through with it, because it's not going to be like, you know, it's not going to be so much that you're feeling that you're giving up your life, because you're actually trying to find your life. And I feel like it's going to be culturally very different as well. Because with Knight of Swords, it's often something to do with the mind and how people are thinking that it's that it's completely different. And this time you did get a 5, and that's on your emotional level. So if you turn around and see what is still there, there is something there for you still that is meaningful. And the sadness and the disappointments was there to give you courage, and because no one's meant to live in this energy, so not for a long time anyway. So it's there to actually give you the courage to move forward. But yeah, I do feel like you will be part of an organization where you get to help people, and it could be an overseas, it could be a completely new culture that you're going to be living in. And it's going to be you taking those steps to do it. It's not something that is forced on you. It's actually, once you overcome that fear, especially the fear of the world, because I feel like there's a fear of what the world is, and if you're going to be able to be part of it, especially outside of where you've been living. Once that fear is gone, then you'll be able to go exactly to where you're meant to be. Okay, let's do the next one. Let's do Nina. So Nina, you wrote to me, and everyone here is getting a very general reading because there were no questions attached. It's just looking at what arrows are showing up. So Nina, this is for you. I picked up a few. You again, it's like there is changes coming for you as well, but there is like you're not really ready for them, and there's fear-based here as well, and this has to do with trusting and needing to know what is real versus what isn't real. There's a lot of fear-based programs. That could be that actually could be someone being a very strong dominant figure in your life. That is maybe you even feel like this person is taking a bit over. First I got 7 of Cups, and 7s are always asking the big questions, and when you get 7s, there's often then the seeker really wants to pray and wants to connect to something bigger than themselves, but maybe you feel that there's a little bit of a fear of what it is that you're connecting to. So with the 7, I recommend that you go on a spiritual path. You probably already are on one, but go on one that will give you a lot of peace, that is drama free, that doesn't deal with lower energies. It doesn't deal with it doesn't throw you into where you have to deal with very lower, harsher energies. Because 7 of Cups speaks of someone who's very sensitive, and your mind, you have to respect that your mind is sensitive. You have a sensitive mind. And you got Queen of Wands, and the Queen of Wands often attract a lot of people because Queen of Wands is charismatic and often very fun. So if you feel like you're attracting in a lot of people, especially with this, you have a mystery about you as well. You're a bit mysterious. Then you can attract in a lot of people, and maybe some of them are not going to always be great. So here I got the Devil card. So that can mean someone is a little bit maybe obsessed with you, and maybe puts a lot of pressure on you. And then we get the Knight of Wands, which can be a person again. It ended up next to the Devil card, so that could be again someone who is a bit obsessed and very strong person in your life. So did any arrows show up? No, and I'll tell you which one nearly showed up. So with the 7, if you had gotten a 0, so the Fool, Wheel of Fortune, or the Judgment, or any of the 10s, 10 of Cups, 10 of Wands, it would have been an arrow, because with the 7, like, you're asking for answers, you're praying, and with the 0 is the answer. It's actually the connection, it's a perfect alignment. But because you didn't get the 0, it means maybe you don't trust in your heart that you can get those answers. And instead the devil showed up. So it's almost like if you're afraid of hearing the answer. Maybe you're afraid of where your answers are coming from. So that's what I mean, like, you need to trust that you can connect to something more powerful than yourself, that is a very loving, kind, and good energy. And challenge those fear-based programs. One thing you could challenge is some people, okay, so this might not be you, but it could be relevant for others. Do you believe God is more powerful or the devil is more powerful? And you might say, oh, I think God is more powerful. But if you dig deep into your subconscious, even do muscle, if you know how to do muscle testing, even muscle test, do you believe, you can say God is more powerful than the devil? And if you feel deep in your subconscious, yes, but maybe a lot of people, maybe they think no. So if you believe the devil is more powerful than God, then that can be an issue, that can be a problem. So then you can challenge that belief and you can say, God, affirm God is more powerful. God is more powerful. And you are safe from evil things. And you can also say, Creator, make me impervious to evil in the highest and best way with grace and ease. And that even will, one thing that also will happen with that is that you will have to develop this strong discernment on situations that potentially could be bad for you, so that you don't put yourself into bad decisions or bad situations, and for the most part avoid it. And I do feel like you do love life, because the Queen of Wands loves life. So you love life, but what you need is to be in maybe a bit better routine and a bit more structure in your life, because the 4th and the Pentacles did not show up. And with the Devil card, the 9, a 9, this is actually a 6 in numerology. So it shows up, it's double trouble, 6 with it's a 6, and it's also with a major arcana card. It's like there's a part of you that is afraid of things that is out of your control, and that fear is causing problems in your life. And if you can trust more in God, then you will no longer feel that those darker forces can come and ruin for you, sabotage for you. Like, you will actually feel more in control in your life. With Knight of Wands, then you are probably a very strong manifester and you can open doors quickly. But there no 5s showed up, so maybe you feel like you're just not ready, and that has to do with the fear. Once you have more trust, and you really do trust, and I think it's trusting in a higher power, then you will be able to walk through all those doors, because you got Wands, there's a lot of energy in your life. It means it could be a lot of travel, a lot of experiences to have, and then you are ready to go. So have a look. So once those fear-based programs, and anyone who feels afraid of change, and that's even possible, like even when they know there's good opportunities coming to them, they even then can't. They feel afraid even then. Ask yourself, is it because you believe that ultimately the devil is more powerful? And it's often a subconscious. So change it and make sure that you believe and truly believe and know that God is more powerful. When I did my theta healing training, a lot of these subconscious beliefs came up for a lot of people. That they were terrified of the devil, and in some twisted way felt that the devil had gained more power than God. And that caused a lot of problems for people when it came to moving forward in their lives. So they were afraid of the unknown. And every time you go through change, it's going to be an element of the unknown. So let's have a look here. So again, we get Knight of Wands. It can mean also a strong presence of a person in your life. And I feel like there should have been some kind of ending in your life that didn't take place. And it ended up persisting longer than what it should. But I want to say this. Now I laid out more cards and you get a lot of major arcana cards. You get an overwhelming amount of major arcana cards. There's a lot less major arcana cards in the full deck than there is minor arcana cards. And when they show up, as many as they do now, more so than you expect, it's always significant. And then when that is when the arrows really are trying to tell you something. There's a situation that's been taken out of your hands, okay? And you even get the guardian angel card here. I often say when you get a lot of major arcana cards, there is a situation that's taken out of your hands. They want to get you to the next level. And you get the death card here. So it's like a situation that maybe should have ended or wasn't optimum, but it persisted because you're a strong person. And they do want you to rely on your strength. And you even get the Queen of Swords here. So you are a strong person, but they say that they took this situation out of your hand. And when you get a 9 with all these major arcana cards, it means that you land perfectly on your feet. And everything will just like flow into place. The 9 didn't come because this is more than just a lesson in getting you to the next level. It is also a lesson here in connecting you spiritually. And this time you did get the 0 with the 7. So they're teaching you spiritual connection through this situation that you're in. And the strength card is someone also who is very good at connecting spiritually. It means overcoming this card is a very spiritual card. It means that you can even change your physical, like you can even change physical reality through your spirituality. That's why this lady here can sit next to a wild lion, and the lion cannot even hurt her because she's able to keep herself in a state that even wild animals become calm and tranquil. So there's a strong focus on meditation and continue on your spiritual path. Now there has been confusion in people around you, and perhaps a specific person in your life who had maybe some financial problems actually that affected you as well. And I think you've been giving advice to this person. Ultimately you get the 3 of Pentacles, so that is the career card. And I feel like if you felt very stuck in career, if you felt that other people even maybe got credit for your work, maybe you even didn't get any real reward for it, that situation is about to end. You get both 6 of Wands and the Chariot, and the Chariot shows up in the unsuspected, and then there is going to be a change, and you're going to mix in 2 things to create a better result. So there's going to be 2 elements in your life that will work together beautifully. So this is about your physical reality and to create more abundance for yourself in the physical. So this whole situation will also give you more confidence in yourself. So you might feel a bit out of control at the moment, but it was a spiritual lesson ultimately, because once you have trust in God, and that it's a good positive energy, a loving energy that's more powerful than anything else, once you really know that, you will be unstoppable. And for a lot of you that's watching this, once you have that relationship right, and you know that, then you know that nothing can hurt you. Nothing can hurt you. Not really. Not ultimately. Not really. Maybe on a physical, yes. But even once you get that relationship right, you'll be able to avoid a lot of confrontations as well. I'm going to pull a card for you. What the best thing you can do in regards to spirituality. I'm just going to do 1 dice for this. So 9 of Wands. So 9 of Wands means that you have probably been hurt in the past, and maybe you have had many challenging situations, and they can go back quite, far. There could even have been some painful things. So have a look at, even this could even be your mother as well, and your relationship with your parents, and maybe mother more than anything. there could have been a bit of hurt there, and it could be on a soul level. And if you start removing some of that, it can be old stuff and it could have been buried a little bit as well. And you start thinking clearly, and I do think you do think clearly, because I do get the Ace of Swords. I think the healing process definitely has already started, but maybe you feel like you get dragged into more of the same, and what you need is something new. But with Nine of Wands, it's always that you need to be able to have the boundaries in place, so that you even have the time and the space to do your spiritual work, because perhaps you feel like a little bit invaded, and maybe you feel like your boundaries have been invaded as well. So it's very hard to be doing any kind of spiritual work if the environment is challenging. It's incredibly important to get that, to get the environment to nurture you. And I think maybe the environment hasn't always nurtured you, especially maybe not now. So they say ice, stillness, and contemplation. So ice shows up when we feel like everything is kind of stuck. But it's actually there to give you the time and space to do all the things I just said. That is what the ultimate goal is with ISA. And it doesn't have to take long. I feel like it's something you can resolve very quickly. And then, you will be where you're meant to be. But there could be moving, because you did get the Chariot, so you could be moving. And also get the Fool, and there's always something new coming with the Fool. Well, when you get the Fool here, it's almost like you're trying to stop the flow. But I don't think you meant to this stage. Okay, the next one. Okay, let's do Leigh. Let's have a look. You could actually be one of my bundle students. And you're from Las Vegas. Lost Wages. All right. Oh, you actually got a very good arrow. And it's funny that we live in Las Vegas, because I got the King of Pentacles, who I call the King of Cash. Who is someone who's really mastered the material world. And you got it with 2 aces, and this is an arrow of success, what you got here. So that means it's the situation that you had in mind. It's going to be successful. You most likely have business skills and talents that you can use in business. Doesn't have to be, with King of Pentacles, it can be any area. It's just that whoever gets King of Pentacles is someone who can turn something around. It's like the Midas touch, they turn situations into abundance and prosperity. And when you get a king with aces, it's always a good sign. So the aces speak of a lot of support in your life, and the king means authority, confidence, ability. So you have everything that you need to be really successful in this situation. So, and it's always fun, it's always very significant when you get the arrows and you're only using 3. I was meant to pick up 4, I only picked up 3, and the arrows showed up straight away for you. Now we will see why you're so successful. And I think it's because you live in the moment, you lose yourself in the moment, and there's a lot of positive energy in your life. So basically, when you get a lot of now you got a lot of 1 energy again. The kings didn't show up this time, but you got a lot of 1 energy, and you got the Magician, which is kind of like the major kind of version of a king. And it basically means someone who's very skillful. But what they're saying you need to do is to have a bit more balance in your life. You got the Balance card, Justice in the advice position, and you got Queen of Pentacles sort of in the block. So that means that maybe you need a bit more home life balance, like homework balance. So there's someone waiting. It's almost like in a relationship there's someone sort of very patient waiting for your time. And make sure that you take more time for personal relationships. So because it's like there's perfection here, and you probably are a perfectionist, and there's happiness there, but there's almost like someone wants a bit more of your time. So if you're very successful and you're very skilled, and it's like you wanted to do a lot of work and you have a lot on, then there's someone who is kind of like needing more of your time, they're saying. So when you guys do the arrows and you get an arrow straight away, and then you look at the cards again and you'll get a little bit deeper, then you also see if getting an arrow can be, you know, what can happen if you have so much success? What happens then? Will that take a toll on personal life, kind of thing? Because in personal relationship, they want you to focus more. So to have that balance, what you can do, you can go and do a download, Creator of All. So Creator of All and God is the same thing. It's the same energy. So when you do my courses, I speak of Creator of All to make it a bit more, less sort of religious. If you use the word God, straight away people think religion. Think of it more as what has created you, the energy that has created you, the energy that lives in all of us. Then you can have these new feelings and abilities and understandings and perspectives. So you can say, for example, Jolie, I know how to have a really good work-life balance, and I know how to have time for my personal relationships. Thank you, it is done, it is done, it is done. And still be successful, you know. Okay, Cynthia, let's have a look at your cards. I'm going to pick up 4. You get an arrow of success, and you also got an arrow of being in control in this situation. And I feel like you're a healer type, and I'll explain why. So got 10 of Swords, which sounds maybe very not so great, but then you got it with King of Cups. So then you get one energy with you get it one energy with a king. So that's always good. So that means you're emotionally mature and you can handle very stressful situations with dignity, and that's why I believe that you're a healer. Where other people will run and hide, you can hold yourself with dignity, and you can handle a lot of pressure. You also got a 6 of Swords with Knight of Swords. So there's basically only minor arcana cards with a 6, which means that you know how to be in control, and you probably also have mastered your emotions. And King of Cups reinforces that you are someone who have mastery over your emotions. So 10 of Swords, so 6 of Swords and then 10 of Swords, it means that maybe you even are attracted to danger. Maybe you even go into these situations knowing that you're someone who can help. So it'll be interesting to know what you do for a living. You could even choose to do this professionally, to be in a role of helping others in a very profound way, I feel, because of the cards are showing that where other people will run away, you walk into these situations. So then I also get Knight of Swords. So this is not 3 of Swords, this is Knight of Swords. So that means that there is a door opening for you, and it is, I think with this one, it could be education actually, and it is to seek more understanding in a very specific area that potentially could help you, but maybe you're not feeling ready. Maybe you want to rely more on your instincts. Let's have a look in the cards. You got 7 of Pentacles. So it could mean that maybe you are feeling a bit drained, and maybe you are feeling tired and you need more, maybe you feel like you just need more energy. Maybe there's a bit lack of energy at the moment. No, you're definitely someone who can rely on your wits and you have street smart. But there could be a bit of fatigue problems here, let's say. What I feel when I look at the cards is that maybe a situation has taken a bit of a toll on you, and now you feel like you want to take a bit of time out and get the Hermit here. Maybe also feel like there has been some financial pressure on you, and maybe you feel also that you need to work a little bit more on just taking time for you and helping you in this situation. But you do get a perfect arrow of progress when I lay out the cards here. So when you get 3, the number 3 shows up 4 times. That means that there is a strong need to communicate, and I think that's the key to your success. Communication is incredibly important. Good communication, positive and fun communication, light-hearted. So you get 3, 3, 3, and 3. So the Hanged Man is also a 3 in numerology. The strong need to communicate, and communicate in smart, fun, light-hearted, positive ways. And also, when you get swords and there's a lot of intellectual stimulation, it is very stimulating conversations that really you learn something from. It stimulates you, it recharges you. It is a sort of conversation that it's like the best. It's those types of conversations you just wish you could have, and you lose yourself in them. They're fun. And then you get a page, and the pages really are enthusiastic. They're so enthusiastic that completes the arrow completely. And when you get this, then there's actually could be some public recognition for you, because people are noticing you, because you're fun to talk to, you're interesting to talk to. You get the Star as a final card. There could be more spotlight on you. I do feel like there's going to be a lot of technology, and you will be able to express yourself, but you also get to, if you want to, even spend more time on your own, if that's what you want. Because you do get the Hermit here, so it's almost like that need to spend more time alone. So that you get to work on your ideas. Even with the 3 of Wands, I mean, that is someone who's very good at even doing it as a career, and it's a communication job. And the Star also speak of communication, but it often uses modern technology. And it is because they want to reach as many people as possible. So if you could use modern technology to get your message out there in a big way, then I think you could be very, very successful. And it could also help your finances as well, if you feel like things have been a bit tight lately. So you get Gebo here, which is your gift. So it also means honor and marriage, but I feel like this is your communication talents. With Lagus, which is your creativity, imagination and emotions. You have skills in communication, and this is where I feel like you're going to be very successful. Okay, so let's do the next one. Emma Terese. Okay, so all of your cards denote teaching. So all of your cards have like a meaning of teaching and speaking. So I'll show that to you. So you could feel that you now are in some kind of situation where you really need to step up a lot, and maybe feel like there's a little bit of pressure on you to do so. So you get 7 of Wands, where people often feel like there's a lot of attention towards them, and they need to prove themselves, and that can make them feel maybe a little bit defensive, but it's for a reason that people are seeking you, that you have something valuable. So often this can show up when someone has to they have to show more of who they are. And you get it with the World card, which often shows up when people are being really guided to step up in the world, to do something for the world in a bigger way. And then you also get the Hierophant, which is again, it's like taking on that leadership role where you're really strong. I think it's actually meant to be like this way, where you are very strong and you're a leader. You know, the Hierophant, that's a leader, and it often speaks of a community that you're very aligned with their belief system. So like you're very aligned with this this organization's belief system. So you got a 7, so that means you do ask all the big questions, and maybe you are quite traditional in many ways, and maybe you need also to have some kind of like you need to go a little bit maybe outside of your comfort zone, because with the World card we often ask to go and step out in the world in a big way, and sometimes that makes us feel a bit uncomfortable. I'm gonna have a look here. So I think you have definitely you're ready for a big change in your life. The Hierophant is a 5, and 5s show up and we feel a bit boxed in. So maybe you feel a little bit boxed in and you want to see what else is out there, and you also get it with the world, which is like you really want to see what's out there in the world. Then you get it with Wands energy, wants. Like you want to live life, like you have this strong desire to live life. And then sometimes when you get this then combination, you get the 5 with the Wands, it's like you want to kick those doors wide open. So what you need is Knights. Knights are doors opening. They are the opportunities showing themselves to you. So let's find out if there will be Knights and doors opening. So you're Knight of Cups, so that means that you most likely will get a wish fulfilled and a dream will come true for you. And straight away we got a Knight, and it's Knight of Wands. So that's really good. But you have strong spiritual, you're a very strong spiritual person. You're getting a strong arrow of spirituality here. There's definitely a spiritual awakening happening in your life. And maybe you feel like it's been a bit of a hard lesson because you're actually getting the Tower here in the advice position, which means that whatever structure has not been working for you, they were actually meant to come down. And that is why you're getting 7 of Wands like that. It's like that. It could be you're holding on to an old version of yourself that you're actually meant to let go of. You got 2 times 0, 10, 1 and 0. And 0, and that is 0 is God's number. When you get them with 7, it really is positive, because even though the Tower then, you know, this is then become actually positive. Even the Tower is positive then, because it is that, you know, God or Creator or Source has something much better for you than what you have tried to create for yourself. And that's why you're so ready for the new. That's why you get 5 with a Knight, and you get Wands, and you get Wands, and that means you have the energy to see this through. You're not lacking in energy. There's a lot of spirit and there's a lot of energy in your life. And there's a brand new beginning, and the Fool shows up in the surprise position. So it could be completely a surprise to you where this is coming. But at the moment, where you are now, you're just feeling maybe that you're in conflict. You're not, you know, enjoying it as much. And that's because you meant to have that frustration so that you get out of where you are at the moment. I really feel like there is love and romance here as well. King of Wands here. With 1 energy, it speaks of success in your life. It also speaks of romance when you get court cards. When you get more than 1 court card, it's actually really good. It doesn't have to mean more than 1 person. It can mean that there's a strong presence of a person in your life. And this here came in Others position. And this could be someone who maybe you feel a bit challenged by, because this is someone who offers you love and has, you know, it's like has his heart on his sleeve, you know, wears his heart on his sleeve. But maybe you're just not ready, and maybe you have all of your defenses up. If I pull down, if I pull this card down, and then it will stand right next to Five of Swords, and it's almost like you're challenging this person. However, we did get court cards with Cups and 2. So think of your past. Think of your past. There was love there, and there was a love that maybe changed you. But it was actually, I feel like, perfect love in your past. And they're saying you have the ability to love deeply, and you can have a very good and strong relationship going into the future. 3 of Cups means social life, celebrations, could mean romantic celebrations as well. And I feel like if you prayed, whatever area of your life you have prayed, that it has manifested through the prayers. If you prayed about love and romance, and what you're experiencing is the answers to your prayers actually. And if you asked about changes to be able to move and go places, then these changes now are happening because of your prayers. So you actually are experiencing your prayers answered at the moment. But I feel like there is definitely more romance and love coming into your life, and maybe you feel like you need to put your defenses up, but I feel like they are coming down. I do feel like your love life at the moment will be an answer to your prayers. And when you get 7s with 0s, it is actually a very good time to pray, because you're going to really get to be able to see the answers manifesting quickly. So guys, I hope you enjoyed that. And I feel like with Emma, Terese, there will be a deepening insecurity in your life. You just must learn how to trust in it, to commit to it, and to live it fully. And for all of you who wants to learn these simple principles of reading the tarot, the Arrows course is full-time access forever and always, as long as I'm alive at least. Or you can study monthly on a monthly basis. Okay guys, bye.